Join me as I take on the daily prayer challenge with Jesus. Can I really stick to it every single day? Welcome to this daily prayer challenge with Jesus. I'm so excited to share this journey with you, and I hope it inspires you to deepen your relationship with our Lord. The purpose of this challenge is to establish a daily prayer habit, and I truly believe it can have a transformative impact on our personal growth and spirituality. By committing to daily prayer, we can experience more peace, love, and joy in our lives, and that's exactly what I want to share with you throughout this challenge. I know that many of us struggle to maintain a daily prayer habit. Let's face it, life gets busy, and distractions are everywhere. Our phones, social media, and even our own thoughts can get in the way of spending quality time with God. Sometimes we might feel like we just don't have the time or energy to pray, and before we know it, days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months without us even realizing it. But I want to encourage you that it is not about being perfect, it is about being consistent and making prayer a priority in our daily lives. One of the biggest obstacles I have faced in my own prayer life is feeling like I am not doing it right. I get caught up in thinking that my prayers need to be a certain length, or that I need to use specific words or phrases to get God's attention. But the truth is, prayer is simply a conversation with our Creator. It's about being authentic, honest, and vulnerable with God, and that's what I want to focus on throughout this challenge. Another common struggle many of us face is feeling like we are not hearing back from God, or that our prayers aren't being answered. But I want to remind you that prayer isn't just about getting what we want. It's about deepening our relationship with God and trusting in His goodness, even when we can't see the outcome. So, let's not give up, let's keep praying, and let's trust that God is working everything out for our good. I've tried various approaches to daily prayer, and I want to share some of them with you. One thing that has worked for me is finding a quiet spot in my home where I can go to pray without distractions. It might be a corner in my bedroom or a spot in my backyard, wherever it is. Make sure it's a place where you can focus on God. Another approach that's helped me is using a prayer journal to write down my thoughts, feelings, and gratitudes. It is amazing how writing things down can help clarify our thoughts and bring more intentionality to our prayers. I also want to share a personal anecdote with you. There was a time in my life when I was going through a really tough season, and I felt like I was at a loss for words. I didn't know how to pray or what to say to God. But one day, I decided to just show up and be honest with Him. I told Him exactly how I was feeling: the pain, the fear, the anger. And you know what? It was liberating. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and I felt God's presence in a way I never had before. Practical tip number 1, find a prayer buddy. It could be a friend, family member, or even an accountability partner online. Having someone to encourage and support you can make all the difference in staying committed to your daily prayer habit. Practical tip number 2, start small. Don't try to pray for an hour if you're just starting out. Start with 5 or 10 minutes a day and gradually increase your time as you become more comfortable. One of the most powerful testimonies I have heard is from a friend who was going through a season of depression. She felt like God was far from her, and she didn't know how to pray or even if prayer was worth it. But one day, she decided to show up and pray anyway. She prayed for healing, for hope, and for a deeper relationship with God. And you know what? God started to move in her life in incredible ways. She began to experience more joy, more peace, and more love, and it all started with her commitment to daily prayer. I want to share another story with you. A few years ago, I was going through a really challenging time in my life, and I felt like I was at my breaking point. I didn't know how to pray or what to say to God, but I knew I needed to pray. So I went to my room, got on my knees, and just started praying. I prayed for strength, for peace, and for guidance. And you know what? God showed up in a way I never expected. He gave me the strength I needed to get through that season, and it's a testament to the power of daily prayer. There was another time when I was struggling with anxiety, and I didn't know how to overcome it. But one day, I decided to pray specifically for peace and trust. I prayed that God would give me the peace that surpasses all understanding, and that I would trust in His goodness, no matter what. And you know what? It worked. God gave me the peace I needed, and my anxiety started to lift. In conclusion, I want to remind you that daily prayer is a journey, not a destination. It's about showing up every day, being honest with God, and trusting in His goodness, even when we can't see the outcome. I truly believe that if we commit to daily prayer, we can experience more joy, more peace, and more love in our lives. Thanks so much for watching, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What's your favorite way to practice daily prayer? Do you have any tips or tricks that have helped you stay committed? Let me know. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more content, and if you're interested in diving deeper into the power of prayer, check out my video on the transformative power of prayer.